What's going on, and welcome to lesson 2 to Metabolic Dominion. So in the previous lesson, I gave you an introduction when it comes to what exactly I'll be going over in these series. In the first one, I just introduced, and today I'll be going over chapter 1, Hormones Control Everything. So by the way, if you haven't already, there's a link down below. You can download the ebook for free. You can skip ahead or go through the ebook as I'm going through it in these series. So part 2, hormones control everything. So we get started with a nice Bible verse, Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So this is God talking about how his people are destroyed due to lack of knowledge when it comes to that specific verse, but I can apply it to your hormones, your nutrition, your health. Your lack of knowledge is causing you the symptoms that I mentioned in the previous lesson, which is your energy, let's say. So if your energy is low, if your mood is off, if your sleep sucks, if you've lost your drive, all of those things are controlled by hormones. So your body needs a proper flow of energy or a proper flow of protective hormones to have good flow of energy, that it's consistent the way it was when you were a child, versus as you get older, it might be more sporadic. You go through phases of excess action and then you need rest rather than consistency. Your mood, it's up and down, it's not consistent. You need to self-medicate. You have anxiety, depression, whatever it is. You have issues with your sleep, difficulty to fall asleep. When you do fall asleep, you're waking up in the middle of the night. When you wake up, you feel tired, you feel anxious, you've lost your drive. And maybe if you do have a drive, it's driven by stress. So it's sporadic, it's not long-term, it's short bursts of action that lead to short-term results. Many would say it's your genetics or your age, but it's not your genetics. And it's not your age. It's your hormones. Many guys say that after the age of 30, your testosterone levels decrease. But when you look at studies, men age 70 in rural areas have the same testosterone levels as 17-year-olds. So it has nothing to do with age. It's to do with your lifestyle choices. And genetics, I think it's just a cope for the lack of action. A lot of people try to label things as genetics when they don't have an answer, or sure, things can be passed on from your mother and father, but you can optimize it by fixing your micronutrient deficiencies, whatever it is, because low hormones, low thyroid manifests differently in different people, and low thyroid or hormone issues can be passed on from generation, but that can be fixed. So it's not just genetics, it can be optimized. You might have a compromised starting point, but I wouldn't give up because someone said it's genetics. So hormones are chemical messengers. So there's a signal, it communicates to a certain point in your body, and it activates, you could say, unlocks symptom, right? They tell you your body what to do, like burn fat, build muscle, think clearly, sleep well, or reproduce. If your hormones are working, you feel alive. If they're broken, you feel like a shell of yourself. One of the biggest things I get from clients when they actually start optimizing their hormones is they start feeling like they're going through puberty, or they feel like everything's more colorful, more dopaminergic, they can sleep better, all of those things, because they've been in a state of just depression, you could say, just like grayness. You see a lot of that with, when I was a child, I seen everything more vivid and things like that. That has to do with hormones. And there's 2 kinds of hormones, you could say. There's protective hormones, so things like testosterone, for males predominantly, progesterone for females predominantly, but both testosterone and progesterone in smaller doses work for testosterone in smaller doses for females and progesterone in smaller doses for males. And then pregnenolone, which is a precursor to all of the hormones. You have thyroid, T3, active thyroid, and DHEA. And then you have stress hormones like estrogen, cortisol, prolactin, and serotonin. The protective hormones are what make you strong, sharp, calm, fertile, and lean. And then your stress hormones make you fat, tired, anxious, emotional, and inflamed. Here's the truth nobody told you. Food controls your hormones. So all of the things that I mentioned, how hormones control everything, you have power, you could say, quote unquote, over that by managing the foods that you're consuming. What you eat either builds up the hormones you want or the hormones you don't. And the best example, like I mentioned before, hormones are there for a reason. Like God created those things for a reason. The problem is that we have access to things that we wouldn't have access in particular times. For example, if it's wartime and you don't have access to food, it's good that your body decreases the metabolic rate to preserve energy so you can live longer, right? But if you're doing that while you have abundance of access to food, that's going to create a certain signal in your body, and your body's going to prioritize a certain thing like your hair, your skin, sex drive, your mood. All of those things are a luxury. And a luxury only can be afforded when you have enough energy from protective hormones, right? Just like how I'll get into how certain foods like PUFAs increase your stress hormones. PUFAs, we would only have access to those during winter time, which would communicate to their body that it's hibernation mode, it's difficult times are coming. So it's a right thing to do during winter. It's a system in place to protect us. But if you're in the middle of summer and you're going to the shop and you're buying nuts and it's full of polyunsaturated fats, there's a disconnect, right? That's why you have a lot of guys that are struggling with those issues, even though they're living in good environments, right? And they have access to food and things like that. So this book is here to help you eat for hormone power, not for hormone chaos. So I'll be getting deeper into, you'll learn what to eat for more testosterone and thyroid, what to avoid to lower cortisol and estrogen and stress hormones, simple daily habits that restore balance in days, not months. There won't be no fad diets, no pills, no fasting, just real food that heals your metabolism and rebuilds your energy from the inside out. So this is chapter 1. You can go to this website to download the ebook if you want to continue on your own. But yeah, I'll continue with the series, and this was on how hormones control everything. I'm keeping it very simple, just so you have context, especially if you're new to this. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next lessons. Peace.